Good day, dental professionals. You're tuned in to the Dental Flow podcast, dentistry's go-to resource for insights into the business side of dentistry. Host Benjamin Suggs navigates you through the currents of the ever-changing dental waters. This podcast is packed with innovative practice growth strategies, insights, and expert advice tailored to help increase the flow of new, profitable patients into dental practices. Listen as Ben explores the latest trends, shares success stories, and uncovers actionable tips to elevate your dental practice to the next level. Get ready to dive deep into the currents of dental business knowledge and experience the dental flow.
Hello. Welcome back to the Dental Flow podcast. As always, I'm your host, Ben Suggs. Today, we're going to talk about something that I think is an important topic for dentists to know more about, and that is Google versus Facebook ads for dental practices. We're going to look at comparing, contrasting, talk about the pros and the cons of each platform, the differences, and also just give you some other additional strategies on how you can get the most out of these platforms as well. So I'm going to dive right into this. Let me open up the screen here. All right. So let's look at a comparison of Google versus Facebook ads for dental practices. So what type of ads are we talking about? If you are going to watch this on YouTube, we are showing you a slide you can follow along. But of course, if you're listening to this, we will kind of walk you through it as well. So let's look at the type of platform, the type of ads that Google Ads is. It's what we call direct advertising. It's probably the purest form of direct advertising. And what I mean by that is that somebody is going to the Google search engine, they're typing in a search. In the case of a dentist, it might be dentist near me, dentist in my town, dental implants, veneers, something like that. They're typing in that search term, and we are feeding them with an ad that is a direct result of that specific search. And what I mean is, if they type in root canal, we're not going to show them an ad talking about teeth whitening. We're going to show them an ad talking about root canals and why they should choose your dental practice for that root canal. Facebook is a little different. Facebook ads, which also includes Instagram ads, because Instagram is a platform owned by Facebook. So whenever you run Facebook ads, you have the option to put them on Instagram as well. So that's what we call interruption advertising. And what I mean by that is that most people don't go to Facebook searching for dental services. They go to Facebook to do whatever the heck they do on Facebook. It could be posting pictures of what they had for dinner, trying to see what their friends and family are up to, posting pictures about their vacations, whatever it is. But they're going there for a different purpose other than looking for a dental practice. Now, there are some people that will go to Facebook to search for dentistry. A few years ago, we were convinced that Facebook was going to overtake Google as the main search engine that people used, but it never happened. And honestly, I think their search volume has actually dropped off. And the idea of that they thought it would be a powerful search engine was based on the fact that if you go to Facebook and you do a search, you're going to see what your friends and your family like. So if you go type in the word dentist near me or dentist on Facebook, what you're first going to see is a bunch of dental practices that friends of yours have liked or follow or whatever. That never really materialized, though. People still use Facebook mostly for the social stuff. So when they're there for that social purpose on Facebook, and they're going about their business, they're scrolling through their feed, they're seeing what people are up to, and then we pop an ad up there right in between their friends' photos. And that's why we call it interruption. We're basically interrupting their day. It's similar in a lot of ways to a billboard on a highway, is that they're going about their business, traveling from A to B, and we're throwing up ads along the way to try to get their attention. So that's why we call it interruption. And that's the biggest difference, I think, between these two platforms. As far as the platform itself, when you run Google Ads, you have choices of where you can run them. You can run them simply on the Google search results page, what we call the SERP. You can run them only through Google's specific search, meaning that only when some people only see your ads if they're on the actual Google platform. Google also offers Google Partners, which is just a bunch of other partner websites where your ads can show up there as well. They also have something called display advertising, which is a lot more like Facebook in the fact that it's just displaying ads on semi-relevant pages of your services. And then they also have YouTube advertising, where you can run a video ad that will come on right when someone goes to watch a video on YouTube. Your ad will be the one that pops up before they watch their video. So they can either skip it after 5 seconds or watch the whole thing. It's up to them. For our agency, for our clients, we generally, with a few exceptions, only focus on the Google search results pages. We do not usually do Google Partners, and we definitely don't do Google Display for dentists. We do some YouTube advertising. That's highly dependent on our clients and whether they have good video content that we think will be successful. So that's the platform for Google. The platform for Facebook is the Facebook app itself, the Facebook website, Facebook app on your phone, as well as Instagram. I mentioned before, Instagram is owned by Facebook, so it's a very easy thing that when you run Facebook ads, you click a button and it'll start showing those ads on Instagram as well. So that's the platform for that. Now, what about the audience? So when we think about the audience of people that are searching on Google, they're what we call bottom of the funnel people, meaning on the buying funnel, the marketing funnel. Those are the people that are in that desire or action phase. And there's a visual here for those watching today, which I'm going to show you. But it's basically a marketing funnel. At the top of the funnel, we have awareness. Those are people who we're just trying to make them aware of the products that we offer, the services that we offer. Then we have interest. We're trying to drive further interest. Those folks are past the awareness stage. Now they're interested maybe in what we're trying to sell. The next one is desire. These folks now have a desire to get what we are selling. They want the service we have. If you're thinking about maybe dental implants, think about those people who want implants, but maybe they can't afford it. They're probably going to get stuck in that desire part of the funnel. The next piece is action. These are people that actually are taking action to move forward with getting our service. And that may be the phone call, filling out your form, filling out a lead form, whatever it is. But they are taking an actual action to receive your service. And then lastly, it's the conversion. These are the people that actually come in, sit in the dental chair, and become patients at the practice. So if you're looking at that funnel, we say on Google, you're going to get people that are more in that desire, action, bottom of the funnel phase, meaning that they are much what we call higher intent. They are looking for your service. If someone types in dentist near me, that's a good indicator that they absolutely want to see a dentist very soon in the next few days, because they're not even saying, I just want to find out what a dentist is, or, hey, are there any dentists in town? They're saying, no, I want a dentist. And I want one near me for convenience. So that's a very good potential patient right there, a high intent person that's likely going to take advantage of your services if we can connect you with that patient. A lot of times in Google, there are going to be some people at the top of that funnel in awareness and interest based on the searches that they're making. And what I mean by that is, if you take the dental implant example again, there are some people that are typing in things like cost of dental implants, how much are dental implants, what is a dental implant? And those people are really in that interest awareness phase. They're aware of it. Now they're moving into interest. They want to know more about it. So they're doing searches on Google to find out more information. But if we see a search term that's dental implant dentist near me, we know that person is at the bottom. They have the desire. They want to take an action. They want to get that service. So they're a much more valuable person. So Google Ads, we tend to find an audience of much higher intent searchers and people. For Facebook and Instagram, it's actually kind of the opposite. Those people are much more at the top of the funnel in that awareness or interest phase. And that's why, a lot of the ads that we run on Facebook and Instagram are more about creating awareness for your practice, not necessarily, always about trying to make a sale at that moment. We're just trying to make them aware, like, hey, you live in this town. Well, here's a great dentist in this town that when you need a dentist, they're here for you, that type of thing. So that we're really looking at people at the top of that funnel. There are ways to move them down the funnel for sure, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But that is the audience that you're generally going to find on Facebook: people who are not aware yet of your product or your service, or we can create awareness and then they become interested in it. As far as budget, obviously, if we're getting those much higher intent, much more likely people to buy audience, then Google is more expensive. It's just going to be more expensive per click that you get. You're going to put much more money into it than you do to Facebook. But there's a reason for that. The reason is that you're reaching people, you're meeting people on the road who are looking for your service that day. It could be someone who's typing in same day emergency dentist. Well, that person wants to come see you that day. That's a very, very valuable person for your dental practice. So obviously Google's going to charge us more for that click. There's a lot of things that go into the budget. I could probably do a whole podcast on that. Maybe I will. A whole podcast on what drives Google expenses. But it's things like competition, generally how far you are from an urban center factors in. Google will charge you less if you're out in the country, more if you're in a bigger city. But Google definitely is much more expensive than Facebook. Facebook is less expensive per click. You can generally get a higher reach for a lower budget. But again, you're reaching a lot of people who are in that awareness interest phase. And that's why a lot of times when we run Facebook clients, we can see a ton of clicks happening, hundreds and hundreds of clicks from the Facebook ad to their website. But that doesn't always translate into a ton of phone calls because, again, these people weren't necessarily at that stage of being ready to move forward, ready to take an action, which is the bottom of the funnel. All right, so what are some pros and cons of both platforms? And some of this we kind of already covered, but I'm going to go through it. For Google, the pros, obviously, again, higher intent people, which equals a higher conversion rate. So we know that if we can get 100 people to your website who've clicked on Google Ads, we have a much higher conversion rate on getting those people who are higher intent to pick up the phone and call your practice. Facebook's much different. The pros for Facebook, I would say, are they have better demographic targeting, meaning they have more information about people who are registered for Facebook accounts, so that we're able to utilize that a little bit more. I'll be honest, in the last few years, that's become much more faulty information. There's been some things with Apple not sharing information with Facebook and things like that, where the demographic targeting is not as good as it used to be, but it's still there. So we do have an opportunity to say, for example, if you wanted to run an implant ad, you could run it to people over 50 or over 45 or whatever you wanted to do. You could look at only people with a certain higher income for cosmetic dentistry, things like that. But generally, when we try to do all that stuff, Facebook always comes back and says, oh, you're too narrow. You've got to broaden your group a little bit. So the demographic targeting is there. It's not what it used to be. But Facebook definitely is, as a pro, better reach for your budget. You're going to reach a lot more people for less money, a lot less money. But unfortunately, again, you're reaching a lot of people who weren't looking for your service that day. So they're much less interested in what you're pitching to them. We do find as a good pro, when I started doing dental marketing over a decade ago, whenever we would launch a brand new dental practice like a startup, we would always have direct mail in the strategy, meaning we need to blast out thousands of direct mailers to let the whole town know that you're here, that you're open. Let's create awareness. Now we can do that a lot with Facebook. We can use Facebook as a local awareness marketing engine and spend a fraction of what we would spend on direct mail just to create awareness about that dental practice opening in the town and being there. Facebook also, because of their demographic targeting and targeting methods, custom audiences, you can even reach people who recently moved in to that area. So Facebook tracks that, a Facebook user who used to be in Ohio is now in your town in North Carolina, let's say. And they know, okay, this is a person who's recently come into this area. So let's start. And you can say for those folks, I want to show them an ad, welcome to the town, we're the best dentists in town, come see us. So it's a great way to create awareness, but just be aware it's not going to always just make the phones ring just like that. Like Google, we have a good track record with. We can make the phones ring the next day. We can launch a campaign on Tuesday. On Wednesday, that practice gets phone calls. You can't say the same thing for Facebook. It's more of a long-term awareness play, kind of like a billboard. Again, cons of Google. The big one to me is if it's not done correctly, you can waste a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money. And we do see this. Like we'll start working with a dentist and they'll say, oh, I've been running my own campaign. And when we take a look at it, we're like, okay, we need to shut this down because, they're just, let me be very honest about something. Google, we love them. We work with them all the time. They're great, but they want you to spend more money. That's just a fact. They want you to spend more money on their platform. So a lot of times their do-it-yourself kind of ads approach is not always in your best interest as the business. It sometimes skews to their best interest as the people you're paying. So you've got to really know how to do Google Ads in a way that you're not just throwing money out the window. And it could be a number of things that, like I mentioned before, if people are typing in root canal, but your ad is talking about teeth whitening, you're wasting your money. If people are, typing in Medicaid dentist and you don't take Medicaid, but you're showing ads, but they're calling your practice, you're wasting your time and your money at that point. So we try to do everything we can to control the people that are calling and people seeing those ads to make sure we're not just throwing money away. Some of the cons for Facebook, the biggest one by far, and this is one of the reasons that we don't really like to do too much Facebook advertising, is it has a much higher no-show rate. And I know dentists, I know you hate no-shows. We all do. They're the worst. Nobody likes no-shows. But it is a fact that because of everything I've said up to this point, interrupting their day, they weren't really looking for you, they were higher in the funnel. Even if those people call and schedule an appointment, there's a much higher chance that they're not going to show up for that appointment, which wastes everybody's time, everyone's effort, and is a big pain for a dental practice. We did have a client once. We worked with a dentist in Manhattan, and I remember one month, we got 20 new patient appointments from Facebook ads that we ran, and 20 people did not show up for their appointment. It was insane. And there's just a thing about Facebook that, they even have these instant response forms that we've tested over the years where literally, the person sees your dental practice ad. They say, I want more information. A little form pops up. It's pre-filled out. So Facebook has pre-filled it with their name, their email, their phone number, and they hit the button, boom, it shoots right to your practice, and your practice calls them within 5 minutes. But even in that 5 minutes, we had dental practices telling us that people didn't remember doing that thing on Facebook. They literally just click, 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 boom. They didn't remember that they had reached out to a dental practice 5 minutes ago. So that's one of the challenges in that platform, is it really is you're working with people who, even if they say, yeah, sure, I'll make an appointment, they may not show up. If they say, yes, I'm interested, they don't remember doing it. So it's a challenge. And we'll talk in a minute about something that we can do to get past that. But the other big thing that we started to see in 2020, and we're back in an election. This is 2024. We're recording this podcast, so we're in another election year. 2020 was an election year plus COVID plus all that stuff, and we used to run a lot more Facebook ads prior to that year. But one of the things we did not like is that we were showing our clients brand awareness advertising in between just, political stuff. I mean, it was just kind of ugly, all the back and forth, no matter which side you're on. You're just seeing negative article, and boom, there's a dentist advertisement right in between the two, sandwiched between them. And we really didn't like that. So we started doing less and less. We're seeing that some this year as well with another election. The social media platforms are just flooded with constant negativity about whether the other side, whichever side you're on, you're just seeing negative stuff. So it's not always, in our view, the best thing to have our brand, our client's brand, portrayed as in that kind of ecosystem. So that's another issue with Facebook that we find as a con. But that's an overview of the pros and cons, the two platforms. And I'm hoping that after this, you've got a better understanding of each one. There's no real answer that this one's better than that one. In our agency, I would say 100% we like Google better because of the success we can have for our clients, the patience they can get versus Facebook. It's touch and go. Like many times with Facebook, you've got to test 4 different campaigns or ads. You finally find something that sticks. But before we sign off, I do want to talk about something that we do find successful on Facebook, Instagram, that we do for our clients, something that you could try yourself. What we're talking about today is lead magnets. So I'm sure you probably heard of that, but if you haven't, a lead magnet is just something that we're offering to somebody for free in order for them to give us their contact information. So in the case of a dentist, we may put out as an example, this is what's on the screen right now. We have a thing, 5 things you need to know before choosing a sedation dentist. Now, or it could be take the gum health quiz to see how healthy your gums are. Those are the things we call lead magnets. It's like we're giving some free value to somebody to get their contact information. So let's take the sedation example and walk through it. So we go out, we run ads on Facebook about 5 things you need to know before choosing a sedation dentist. Hey, are you anxious about going to the dentist? Have you avoided going to the dentist? Well, guess what? Sedation is the right thing for you because you can relax, you can be anxiety free, blah, blah, blah. So we run those ads, we test different ones, and we try to get people to then on the Facebook platform say, I want to know more, or yes, I want that. The guide that you're offering, the 5 things you need to know. So we have them click the button. And usually what we do is we take them back to the client's website where they fill out a quick form. Boom, boom, boom. Here's my name. Here's my email. Here's my phone number. So we get that form and then we drop them. They hit submit and we drop them into what we call an automated nurture campaign. So what we're doing is we've gotten their information now. So we have a couple things happening. We can send that information to the front desk of the practice. And if they choose, they can call that person and talk to them about setting an appointment. But then we also put them in an automated email sequence. Sometimes we'll send them a text. Sometimes we'll leave them a ringless voicemail that just says, oh, this is our practice. We're here for you, blah, blah, blah. But once we put them in that nurture email campaign, we're going to send them emails about the topic, whatever the lead magnet was, sedation in this case, about how sedation can help you, what sedation does for you. We'll send them emails with client testimonials or patient testimonials, We'll send them emails with videos of the practice. Whatever that practice's value proposition is, that's what we're going to send throughout the sequence of emails. But the point of this is that, again, this person, because they were on Facebook, we already know that they were lower intent person. They weren't necessarily looking for this, but we're penetrating a new audience of people. It's an audience of people in this example of sedation that, they were scared of the dentist. So maybe they haven't been to the dentist for 3 years or 4 years or whatever it is. And now they're saying, oh, wait a minute, you can put me to sleep and I can sleep through the whole appointment. That sounds amazing. Maybe I will look into going to the dentist again. So these are not people that are running to Google searching for a dentist because they're terrified of it. So Facebook's just another way to reach them with this lead magnet. And then we nurture them over time. So we take them from this awareness interest and we nurture them with these emails to try to push them into the desire action part of the funnel. And this is something that we find works pretty well to try and change those folks from that top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel. And the problem with those little lead forms, which I talked about a minute ago, was that you're hitting people when they're still at the top of the funnel. So they're going to be higher no-shows. They're going to be less interest. They're going to be not remembering that they'd even filled out that little form. So it's better to make them take at least a step or two to really tell you that they really do want this information from you. And then you provide it over a drip sequence over time. That sequence changes based on the lead magnet we're doing. Could be 1 email a week, 1 email every 3 days, that type of thing. But anyway, hopefully that helps you guys. That's a good option to look at for Facebook to have some success there. And I hope you walk away from this podcast with a much better idea of the differences between the two platforms, Facebook and Google. If you have any questions or want to try and use these platforms for your own dental practice, of course, you can always reach us at Flow New Patient Marketing. There'll be information about that in the show notes. This is what we do, and so we can help you. Everyone have a great day, and thank you so much for joining me on the Dental Flow Podcast.
Thank you for joining us for this Dental Flow podcast episode. If you enjoyed today's discussion and wish to stay updated on future episodes, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with colleagues and friends. For more insights and discussions on dental marketing, we encourage you to continue riding the Dental Flow wave and tune into the next episode. Keep on smiling, learning, and flowing with the Dental Flow podcast.